Hey guys, and welcome back to the WTFarm Girl channel. We are finishing up repairs on our John Deere 1219 hay mower. In years past, it's given us so many issues with the cutter bar breaking every single year. And finally, I think I have solved the problem. This is the final video before we start hay season 2021 officially. Now, we actually cut way back in May. The videos are about 2 months behind, so please be patient. So I'm so excited to show you what happened with the cutter bar, why it kept breaking cutter bars, and what we actually did to solve the problem once and for all. Also, puppies. Aww. Yeah, need I say more? Coming up. And of course, staining the cabin. Oh my gosh. So as you know, the cabin is raw wood. It is not stained, and if I leave it like that, it's probably not going to last much more than 2 years. So we're going to get some stain slapped on that puppy before the temperatures shoot back up into the 90s, because when you're staining and it's 90 degrees, it just doesn't go too well. Let's take a look at today's video. And if you guys are not subscribed, be sure to click that red button down below and turn it gray and turn on that bell too, because hay season is going to be amazing this year. Eric's got some great drone footage. It's really going to be exciting. You don't want to miss it. And don't forget to hit that like button. Dear John Deere, it would have been really nice of you if you had told me the parts were in the day they came in, so that I don't have to work on my hay cutter in 50-degree weather in an unheated garage. Thank you so much. But at least the parts are in. You don't leave John Deere without spending at least $200 at a shot. All right, so we've got this. Oh, we've got a new nut. This is our pin. And a grease zerks, because they don't come with grease zerks, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. It'd be like ordering a tractor and they're saying, well, you gotta put your own grease zerks on the tractor before you can use it. I don't know, is that, have you guys ever ordered a part and had to put your own grease zerks on it because it doesn't standard come with a grease zerks? So we have a brand spanking new one of these. This will cost you about 50 bucks. It's a nice solid piece of metal. It's solid and it's been milled out. So you do have to go through and pump this puppy full of grease. All right, so he's ready to go. Now this had to be special ordered. I'm assuming it's the same size. I'm gonna tell you straight up, this is absolute misery working right now. There is an icy cold wind blowing under my door, right onto me. How much would this absolutely suck if this were not the correct part? It's supposed to be, but you know, sometimes they just aren't. Oh, okay. All right, so we're gonna line up the edge of the bar. We're gonna line this right here to this, so that when we put it back on, it will be aligned. I kind of wish I had my headlamp for this. So right here is a castle nut. I can't see it because it's dark under here. I'm gonna need a light on that because I can't see it. I'm making it more exciting. I left my phone in the house, so I have nothing for light. Alright, so I have my headlamp. One thing I noticed though is that it is not the same as the main parts. I do know that sometimes they change the design. And guess what we're gonna do is just put this up there and see, right? They are on so tight. Oh, gosh. Oh yeah, and did I mention today is also my birthday? Happy birthday to me. Yay. Oh yeah, check that out. All right, well, I got it. There's the guard right there, but I had to take off the little end finger guard, and that is the worst thing to have to put on. I did not want to take that off, but I did not have a choice because that sucker was bolted all the way through that other guard. So I had to take it off. But this right here is what we're after. And I don't know what to expect with this. Eee. Oh, this is gonna be delightful. All right, so I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but we'll give it a shot. Yep. All right, that's good. So what was the final verdict with the cutter bar? Now in years past, when the cutter bar broke, I would tighten it to what Eric calls Guden tight, which means just as tight as you can go. Now this specific part, like many other parts, absolutely must be torqued to specs, and specs on this pin assembly is 160 pounds of torque. My best guess was I was torquing it to about 60 pounds. If you don't torque it tight enough, guess what happens? It's gonna bobble around in the hole and the cutter bar is not gonna float correctly. And of course, it's gonna break. So hopefully that's the only issue. Luckily, after I torqued to spec the knife drive arm, everything seemed to line up perfectly. All of the knives were flush in the guards, and when I rotated the PTO, it flowed through like butter. I think I finally had it figured out. Now on to puppies. Ginger had her puppies this year on 7/11, bright and early in the morning. She birthed 5 healthy Frenchton puppies in colors of sable, blue sable, reverse brindle, and blue fawn merle. You're very excited to see how all these puppies turn out with their colors and personalities. And if you're interested in watching them grow up too, you can check out the link in the video description, which sends you over to our puppy page. I still gotta update the website. Again, it's kind of one of those time issue things, but I'll get there eventually. And then there was the time that I decided to dye my skin and my hair brown. Most people go blonde in the summer. I go brown in the summer. Not intentionally. Yeah, I stained the cabin, and myself included. Let's go. All right, we're finally gonna give this a go. So I don't have an actual mixer for this stuff, so I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna rig up. So hopefully mix this. This is stain. I ordered it online. Alright, so this stuff is called Baker's Gray Away Wood Stain. It's designed to keep the gray off your house, which a little late on this one. This is oak. Now, as far as the stain goes, I didn't really want a really light color. So it needs a stain to keep it looking vibrant and fresh. I looked at the colors they had, and this is finally what I settled on. I haven't seen it in person. I haven't even opened this bucket yet. So this is huge. I've never done this before. I'm a little nervous and procrastinating. Let's get going before I chicken out of this. This will work, right? Moment of truth. What does it look like? It's really dark. And it looks very spillable. Alright, because some of you guys are probably going to freak out on this. I have a hook. I have a drill. The hook is going to go into the drill. Watch and learn. Tighten it around it. Just enough so it doesn't pull out. Now, we're going to get our anchor. Yeah, I bet you didn't see this coming. So, hopefully this will work. Or we might end up with a big mess. Oh my gosh. Maybe not. Alright, the gloves are a no-go. Hopefully this will work out okay. Otherwise I'm going to lose my anchor in here. And yeah. Okay, who wants to go get that? Here it is. Maybe I should save this until I get this thing stirred up a little bit more. Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm not sure what this is. But this has not been outside at all. This has been sitting in my house. Put your thoughts down below. Like I said, I have no experience with outdoor stains. I've only done indoor stains. Wow. This is some major chunky stuff in here. Alright, so we're going to do a quick viscosity test. I think it came with this cup. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it came with this cup. It's a viscosity tester cup. So what you do is you fill it up and then you have to time it. And the liquid has to run all the way out of this cup before 50 seconds. So we're going to give this a shot and see if we actually need to do some straining on it. Did anyone pull out their stopwatch? So I actually dipped it a couple of times and I didn't reset the timer, and it was at 15 seconds. So this stuff is going to have absolutely no issue going into the spray gun. Alright, and it should stir pretty good now that the solids have been taken up. I guess we're done. I hope. I hope that's good enough. It still looks very, very, very thin, but that's okay. All right, we're gonna retest it quick. 10 seconds. That's nuts. Alright, so that's the verdict. I'm gonna put it in the paint cup then. Alright, so this painter uses power, so I'm gonna drag the power cord back here. I fully expect to not do very good my first couple of rounds, so if I do it in the back, people won't be able to see it as well. It'll be okay, right? I hope.
Well, I'm sure you're probably wondering why Eric's not the one spraying my cabin. I mean, that's what he does professionally, right? He sprays cars. Well, I asked him, and he wasn't excited about the thought of spraying stain all over my cabin. He had applied stain to his father's deck last year and really didn't want anything more to do with staining. So I did it myself. Now Eric did end up stopping in later after work and saw that I was still staining and decided to jump in and give it a go. He liked it pretty good, but stain isn't car paint, and so it went down a lot thinner than what he's used to. And unfortunately with stain, your first coat absolutely must be applied thickly so it can permeate into the wood enough. I tried to go over it a couple more times, but it really didn't darken it up and permeate enough. With this stain, you have to apply the first 2 coats within 2 hours of each other. It's an oil-based stain. It's designed to protect the wood against the sun, against water, against mildew, against bugs, and against cracking and splitting. It actually has an 8-year warranty, which is why I picked it out. Now this 5-gallon bucket cost me about $150, which included shipping to my door. Overall, I was pretty happy with it. I thought it did a decent job. Not that I've ever used outdoor stain before, but I've got nothing to complain about, really.
Unfortunately, I got most of the way through the first coat when the builders show up to chat with us about possible build this fall. And 3 hours later, I had to go back to work, staining everything. And I didn't get done until 10. So I was staining in the dark, which isn't easy to do. So this is the next morning. I was up until 10 o'clock last night, spraying this in the dark. And even though it's standing right next to me, I have not actually laid eyes on it yet. So we're gonna do that together. I'm really kind of scared to see the carnage that could be my cabin. So here we go. All right, so I'm just gonna back up. Yeah, so I mean, overall, this I pretty much did at night. I got to touch up around the outside of the windows a little bit. You can see that there's like a lot of stuff that's dripping. Like the dew point dropped really hard last night and it got cold. So that causes a lot of this stuff to not dry. Actually, this whole area looks a little bit light right there. It really came out pretty decent. And again, like some of those areas just did not want to take the stain at all. I gotta get rid of that bee nest up there still, but they're still up in there. This has got a lot of stain on it. I'm not really sure what to do to get all that off. I was really trying hard to avoid that scenario, but there it is. Okay, so it has been several days. I went through and I did the final cleanup. So here it is. So the color has actually settled in really, really nicely. And again, it was dark when I was finishing this up, so there's definitely areas that I probably would have liked to have gone over a third coat. Like down here, it's definitely a lot lighter. It got much less. This area actually got 3 coats, but I think what happened was the wood just soaked it right up so much, and then it just ended up much lighter. Now some of these areas I went back through and redid a couple different times. They just ended up lighter. But the color's lightened up. It's blended in well. I think I'm liking it. Eric says it looks better than the raw wood, which it probably does. I'm trying to see if you can get the roof color. The downside is when I picked out this color, I thought it would complement the copper roof so nicely. They wouldn't blend in, but it wouldn't be too dark. But I forgot that with the copper roof, if you get it just right, which is most of the time, it looks mahogany. So it really doesn't showcase the copper as much as I thought it would. But when the roof actually looks copper, it looks nice against that color. So I'll do the quick walk around. I hand brushed that whole top line twice. And even the back, which I completely saturated the back to the point where it was dripping a couple different times. It still doesn't really look that thick. It just, I don't know, it soaked in really nicely, I think, right? And then this side looks a little bit lighter, especially that second row right there and then right under there. So the thing with this stain is that you absolutely have to make sure that you are working with it while it's wet. You're not supposed to paint over it when it's dry. I don't know why. You're just not. And then this obviously right through here is really, really dark because I brushed that on and it was really rough wood. So it took a lot of material. It's almost a little bit too dark, but overall I think I got it pretty good. I probably shouldn't have caulked stuff before I stained because it left it a little bit blonde. This is going to have to be recaulked because it's leaking under there. But the good news is I went through and recaulked that, and that is no longer leaking now. So I actually ran some caulk like 2 inches up and I piled it back there. And then this all got recaulked. And brought this in and brought that in. And yeah, so I think hopefully that's going to be good. All right, so now I have to clean up the windows because I'm not sure what to do about this. It's kind of coming off, but some areas it's not. It just looks terrible. And you're not supposed to paint these, so I don't know. What can I do? I guess I could try super clean on that, see if that works. Overall, I think it came out pretty good. I think I'm happy with it. I used up nearly the entire bucket. Okay, you can see the copper on this side. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that color. I think it looks good. Well guys, that about sums it up. So again, if you are not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, click the bell. You can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on Instagram. Oh, it's definitely been a busy summer and I am so tired. I think most of my energy goes into this. Eric, can you please take your dog to work with you? Yeah, and that's why they made the Frenchton, because a Frenchie isn't gonna do that. Be sure to leave a comment down below, and I look forward to seeing you on the exciting new hay videos coming up. Take care, guys. Love you. Bye.